Leslie from A Friend to Knit With. Welcome to episode 25 of A Friend to Knit With podcast. Today is Tuesday, April 19th, and it is definitely not spring yet here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're having a bit of a snowstorm right out this window. So I think it was snowing the last time I was here also. Perfect for knitting. So if you've stumbled upon this channel, it is a channel mostly about knitting. And so if you are a knitter, welcome. If you are returning, thanks so much for coming back. I'm glad you're here, that we're friends to knit with. I can be found on Instagram as Leslie Friend. I am Friend to Friend on Ravelry, and my blog name is A Friend to Knit With. So I guess I'm just gonna jump right in and tell you what I'm wearing. This is the Daily Pullover by Purl Soho. And I was going to say it's a free pattern, but it is not a free pattern, is it? No, the half and half triangles wrap is a free pattern. This is definitely a paid pattern. So I'm making 3 out of it, so that's pretty good. I made it in black and showed it in a couple, maybe 3 podcasts ago. Absolutely love this sweater. And then this is Kettle black, and this is the Nutmeg. I have worn this one so much, I can't even tell you. Absolutely love it. I made these both exactly the same except for the ribbing. I did a twisted rib on this one, and I just did the standard rib on this one. I made only one modification to the pattern. It's cropped, and I don't think I have a picture of the whole body of it. And I increased in the length to 12 inches. Let me see if there's a, I think I didn't print that page. So the only one I have is this one. But I also did my V a little higher, just by binding off a little tighter. You can achieve that within the V. So it'll just bring up your V a little bit if you bind off a little tighter. So this was a standard rib with a standard bind off. And I did this tighter than this. And this is stretchy and loose. And then I wanted something stretchy and loose on this sleeve. So I did the Italian bind off with a twisted rib. And I can't say that I think it's that much stretchier than just the standard bind off with a bigger size needle and loosely. The Italian bind off is nice because it kind of, you know, your stitches kind of just never end and they kind of whoop, go around the end. And there's not the line that you would achieve from a regular bind off. But I don't know. I don't know if I would have gone to all the work. The twisted rib made for another step in the Italian bind off because I had to untwist every stitch before I started the Italian bind off. In the Italian bind off, if you don't know, it's just a 1 needle Kitchener. So you have your darning needle, and instead of going Kitchenering 2, you know, needles together, the stitches, you are only just binding off, and it's almost the same, but it's a 1 needle Kitchener. And it's not the tubular. The tubular is you have setup rows, and then you do the 1 needle bind off. The 1 needle Kitchener, which is the Italian bind off. But I just wanted to bind off. I'm not gonna lie. I did not want to do it once I got started on the bottom, and taking out an Italian bind off was like next to impossible. Or I think I would have just started binding off loosely, and I would have achieved the same look because I will never notice that it's doesn't have that line that you get from binding off in the standard way. Yeah, I don't know. Now they are exactly the same, but they did end up a little different because my gauge must have been tighter. So this does seem like it's a little more fitted than this one. Definitely in the sleeves too. But, and I'm gonna make Libby a black one too. So I'll have 2 black and this is the Nutmeg. If you've been around here, you know I broke my wrist, had surgery, and so I'm just back to knitting. And This was my first project on size 4 needles, and I just think I wasn't very relaxed while I was knitting. So I was knitting tighter, and I can guarantee this gauge is probably a little smaller than this gauge. So I have to work on that. But I'm just loving knitting so much, and what can I say? I don't care if it's tight or not. It's just nice to be back knitting. So I do have plans. Well, I don't know. I'll probably make one more, and I'm not sure of the color. This is ground wheat, or no, wheat flour. This is wheat flour, which I love. I truly would love a stack. Now imagine this. All of these daily pullovers just folded. All in these yummy colors, just very soft. This is peony pink. I'd like it with this one, the black, this, gray, navy. I swear I'd like one for every day. Maybe I do need to make 7 of them. That would be 8, since I have to make Libby one too. But I just love this sweater. I feel like it could just be worn every day. I don't know what to say. They also have another, they have the crew neck. I think I showed it to you. I did show it to you in another podcast, but I will show you. They came out with another pattern for, so light white raglan pullover out of the same yarn, and it's a crew. This I really love. I want to make something out of this too. Maybe the pink. Maybe I'll try the pink out of that one. But I love, this seems like more of a sweatshirty. Definitely looks like it has a little more positive ease in it than this, but just as wearable. So that's very cute. This is my knitting inspiration. I'll show it to you at the end of the podcast. I've been sharing some of the patterns I love in there that I put together when I was, I was not knitting. Okay, so what is on my needles? This is the only thing that came off my needles. I was on here not too long ago, but I just figured I'm gonna be gone for a couple weeks. I am going to Florida on Thursday for my mother's celebration of her life, and that is gonna be lovely. We have 8 of us all together. My stepdad had 5 children, and my mom, obviously, I have my 2 sisters. So there are 8 of us, and then with spouses and kids, we're gonna have a nice crew. So it's gonna be a lovely time. Very excited about that. And then I am driving with my son, Andrew, he was in school in Tallahassee, so we're gonna move him out of his apartment and back to Pittsburgh. And that will be fun because he's just fun to be with, and we'll have a great time. So I have some things on the needles that I can take on my road trip and hopefully can fit in my suitcase when we fly down. So the first one, which I'm loving, I'm working on, and I'm storing in my Coco Knits bag. I love this bag because I just love bags that are open on the top. Is my classic pullover by, yes. They're all like pullover, daily, classic. It's just called the classic. And that's the picture if you've seen it. Here's the schematic. And this is a free pattern on Espace Tricot. And it is just classic. I could have this in every color too. I'd like this in the classic navy. Wouldn't it be great in black, obviously? And a white one, so pretty, gray. So I am using Sonder yarn. I think she actually has all of those colors in her line, or they have all those colors in their line. This is Sonder. This is Sunday Morning, and this is their 4-ply. And then I'm pairing it with Halo, which is their merino or their mohair and silk. This is Rocket. and this is cover to cover. So really their palette is just so lovely, and it is knitting up this squishy piece. So it's just a 4-inch turtleneck, and then it's just raglan. So I am starting down that path, and it's on size 7 needles, so I think it'll go pretty quickly. So I think I probably will, if I can cake up these before I leave, I'll take this. But yes, loving that. And I just love a classic sweater, so that'll be perfect. I've mentioned this before, but I'm trying to be very mindful about what I'm making and what I wear. And I need it to be in full rotation in my closet. I have had sweaters in the past that I just don't wear very often, and I'm really trying to change that. And I think if I put a lot of thought into it, then yes, I hope to wear them more like these. I know I'll wear that a lot. All right, the other thing on my needle I am keeping in the Most Darling bag my friend Christy made. And this is definitely going on the airplane with my project inside. But this bag is so lightweight. If you are one of those that knit and walk, I never have been, nor will I be now. Although I feel, while I was skiing, I feel like everything is a banana peel. I am so nervous to fall, I guess. So in here, I have my Beatrice mitts, and they are knit in, it's called Trench Coat. Isn't that the most fabulous yarn ever? I have something going on here though. It's all tangled, but not for long. So this is Trench Coat, and it is the most fun self-striping yarn I've ever knit with. I have made 5 pairs of these in the past, but I don't have any for myself. So I decided that I needed a pair for the spring. And since I love trench coats, I do love trench coats, but I really also love umbrellas. And yes, so anyhow, these will go with a trench coat or a black coat or anything, but it's like that classic Burberry look. And how it comes is like this. And the way she designed it, this is Turtle Purl. I bought this a few years ago it is my pattern. And there are the mitts. And I'm going to give you guys this pattern for the next week. So let's say until April 27th. Is that a week away? Because I probably won't load this, get this uploaded on YouTube till tomorrow. So until April 27th, let's put I love the rain, or I love spring. How about I love spring? I love spring in the promo code. But when I read about this before, she designed this so you could make your socks 2 at a time, and they'd be exactly the same, exactly matching. And this pattern, you can get 2 pairs out of there. So this, I paid $28 for this, I think, and less than $15, you can make 2 gifts, or a pair for you and a pair for your friend. I think that's a pretty good deal. So yes, promo code. Did I say I love the spring? I love the spring. And you can make a pair of the Beatrice mitts. I just think they're super fun. And this will go to Florida in this bag. I love this bag. Thanks, Christy. It is so cute, lightweight. I love that it has snaps. Usually they have zippers, which I like the zippers too, but that was just a little fun little thing to be surprised by. and the handle, and it's just lightweight and fun. All right, speaking of the stripes, I wanted to share, my friend Gina and I are going to host a knit along. It's my first ever knit along to host, so I'm very excited about it. And Gina is just a ton of fun. So if you don't know her, go look her up, Gina from SkeinCocaine. So we're gonna start it on the first day of summer, so you have plenty of time to start thinking about it. And it's gonna run until the last day of summer. So June 21st, you can cast on, or have your project by then. But we're just gonna use a hashtag over on Instagram. That way we can kind of keep it all together in the same group. And I'll go in more detail in the next podcast. I'll definitely remind you. But I thought maybe you could get thinking about stripes in your life, and if there's anything stripes you wanna make. The Beatrice mitts. Last year I made the Simple Stripes by Suvi. This is a beloved sweater of mine, and this is Gina's yarn from SkeinCocaine. She made, this was the simple palette, and now she did a pastel, perfect pastel palette. Maybe the other one's the perfect palette. This is the perfect palette. And then she did, for the spring, a perfect pastel palette. And although I say I don't wear pastels, but look, hello, maybe I do. So I am doing the perfect pastel palette, and I'm gonna knit this sweater. That's gonna be my knit along sweater. And I think that will be so pretty, and I just love everything about this sweater. So hopefully I can get my attention back to this. Otherwise I'll have to rethink the needle size, or I just have to start to relax now that I can knit. But yes, so I'm super excited about it. I think Gina is too. So keep your mind going on the stripes. There are really so many striped sweaters out there. And yes, I am going to put together a blog post, and I'll let you know about that too. But on my blog, A Friend to Knit With, and I've been composing a lot of striped sweaters and accessories. So if you're interested, I'll let you know, and you can do a little digging over there and get some inspiration. I know Tracy from the Grocery Girls did the Cozy Classic Raglan, and she just used some of her scraps and just added stripes to it. So you can add stripes to any sweater you have the pattern for, and maybe you just have things you want to use some of your stash. But she used this Cozy Classic Raglan, and she just added stripes every now and then. So cute. It's green. Loved it. It's a great stash buster too, to make stripes. I'll show you some more of that in a minute. But I wanted to mention one other thing, and I definitely think I'm going to take this on the road trip. It could act as my blanket as I knit on it in the car, because I always get so cold in the car. But this is a baby gift, a baby blanket, and it's just this butterfly stitch. And I had a lot of questions on the last episode, and I will be writing out the pattern, and as usual, I'll be offering it for free for a while. So if you are interested, just stay tuned or subscribe to my channel. That way you will be able to know if, it's out then. But it's a simple butterfly. I think it adds just, the perfect detail. And it's easy. It's so easy. My grandmother made this pattern, and she used to do stripes, and she pretty much perfected it and gave everyone a blanket. When they graduated from high school, we got a blanket, and then I think I did get another one when I graduated from college. And my mom had so many of these in her house, so we each definitely grabbed one. Hers were striped, but I really like it in the solid. And I'm using the Big Twist. It's a yarn from Joann Fabrics, and it's indestructible. I love that yarn. the mom can machine wash it, which is every mom's dream when she's very busy. So, all right. So parched. I was going to bring a latte because I use this space above our garage, so I have to come over here. And I was going to make a latte and bring it, but I forgot my Invisalign. So I'm still using that. So hopefully some of my Invisalign friends are doing well with their Invisalign. I'm over halfway through, so that is pretty exciting. All right, let's see where I left off. I think the last time, so I've mentioned this before, I put this book together when I wasn't knitting because I broke my wrist and I needed to just be involved with knitting somehow. So I cleaned out my Ravelry queue, and then I just, because I like paper and pencil, I thought I needed more visually in my hands so that I can just look at it like a book. So I ended up gluing the pictures into just an empty, it was a blank page journal, doesn't have to be, but into an empty journal. And then I made little pieces of paper on the computer that just have the pattern, the yarn, the suggested yarn, needles, gauge, yardage, and size. And I started gluing. And this is where I left off the last time. So if you're interested, it's at the end of the last episode. But this is Saga by Britt, and I just met Britt, by BRITT-MARIE. And it is just one of my favorites. It is a lot like the classic. This is done on 6 needles. Next, I have the Be Mine blouse. I just love how feminine that is. And that is done on 6s. The light fingering weight. And then the Spot Sweater by VENTZEL. I know her name is probably pronounced some other way, but because is she from Denmark? I love the spot sweater. Oh my gosh, there are so many great spot sweaters out there. And that's on a US 7. It doesn't look like it to me. It looks like pretty fine gauge, but it's on 7s. And then Spearhead by Jared Flood. That's on 10.5. So imagine how quick that would be. And I would love this in like a tonal. Like even if this was tan and white or cream tonal shades, that'd be pretty. And then Gambier by INOUYE. I saw Gambier on the Knitting Posse. Kim made it, and it was beautiful. And then Kate made it. It was beautiful. And Kate, I hope if you're watching this, you're doing well. She also had wrist surgery. So I hope that you're doing well. This is Agatha, and it's a worsted weight yarn on size 8 needles. I like how it's a fitted, cable. I think this same pattern's on the back, but I might just do it in the front, like a vest. But it has a little, little pleated shoulder. And then there's a Knit Classic, another VENTZEL on size 6 needles. Just classic. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, this, not my everyday sweater, but I think it would be so much fun. It's the art sweater. It's just a fun go out sweater, or see how the 2 sleeves are different. That's on size 6 needles. I think that is really fun. And then the Sheer Bee sweater by Jessie Maid, and it's she uses a lot of different needle sizes, and then what I'm assuming is she just drops one of the strands of the mohair and knits with different weights throughout. So pretty though. Another go out sweater. Sunday Tea, which I started and frogged, but I still love this sweater. I still would like that in my wardrobe. Still would like it in camel in my wardrobe. That's the one I brought. But that's the one that was also eaten by my moths. So, all right. Hello from my color crop. This is another Jessie made. Gina. Let's see. Gina, did you make this? So there was a, you know, she had her Advent and all the Advents at Christmas. And so you have all these minis. And this is a great one for that. So if you have a stash of minis, this is amazing. And I think you could make it long sleeve too. You could just follow that same pattern all the way down. Love it. This, I think this could go, maybe, well, chalk, if Fair Isle could be part of the stripes. This could be part of the stripes. This is the circumference sweater by my friend Lily Kate France. Lily, I love this sweater. And wouldn't this be pretty too? Just, I could also see this with like tone on tone instead of like a contrast. Just very tonal and very, but that could be a stripe. And I'll just give you one more. The Stalactite by Camille Roselle. Love this sweater too. That looks like that could be act as a stripe. And that is on size 7 needles. Love that. All right, I'll share some more the next time. But thank you guys so much for stopping by, for knitting away, for having the same passion that we all have together. It really is an amazing thing to be around like-minded people. So thank you. And yeah, until next time, start thinking about your stripes and work on something you love. And if you don't, find something else. And until next time, remember, you always have a friend to knit with. Take care.